Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Neil Haley Show. You can check me out on Twitter at Total Tutor, Neil S. Haley, Facebook, LinkedIn, Neil Haley, Instagram, Total Tutor, Pinterest, Neil Haley, Google Plus, and also on Periscope at Total Tutor. And continue the interesting monthly tapings here at BPTV that goes out simulcast for radio and television, all those fun things. But I'm excited to welcome to the program my co-host, WPL Hall of Famer, Coach Karen Hall, ESPN analyst, UNLV running rep. How are you, Karen? And I know you're excited. We're getting really close to the beginning of the school year and everything, and you have some amazing guests that are coming to the studio the next couple weeks.
Well, Neil, first of all, I'm happy to be back in the studio.
Yeah.
We both know I love the television.
Yeah, yes, you do.
But I'm really excited today because I'd like to welcome our first guest, and that's Coach Leroy Dillard to the show. Coach, welcome to the show.
Well, it's a high honor to be with Mr. Neil and yourself, Ms. Hall.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, we're just as honored as our guests will find out very shortly about your incredible background, a life full of fitness and wellness. So, Coach, if you can take us from somewhat of the beginnings of how this started for you and some of the educational points along your way.
Well, I'll try to be straight to the point and brief. Born and raised in Pittsburgh in the Hill District.
Nice.
And even when I was a young fella coming up, very poor, and a lot of us were, and dealing with struggling and making it through elementary, middle school, high school, dealing with the rough stuff, I said, let me try to become an athlete.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Being an athlete might help me to stay active and not get myself in trouble.
Yes.
And dealing with that, I was pretty much able to play football and make first team and run track and throw the shot put in discus and try to help. I always tried to help other team members out. In working with the academic situations and dealing with activities after school, I would work on the paper truck. I didn't sell the papers. I would take the bundles and throw them in front of the stores late at night.
Okay.
That way in high school I could make a few bucks to be able to eat lunch.
Sure.
I had to work for my lunch.
Yes.
So dealing with that, I met good people that made sure I stayed out of trouble. In high school, I was honored to have good coaches. Mr. Bob Mungen, who is deceased, and also Mr. George Couples, who is deceased.
Right.
And they named the stadium
Yes.
Yes.
for Mr. George Couples.
Right.
And they really took me into their wing, and I would always try to be the best hustler, the best ball player, and really make things happen. And I would always try to gather the team members or people that was trying to play ball under me. I would always lend them a helping hand and tell them to stay out of the streets, don't smoke, get some rest. And I always had in my mind, back in the early 60s, I would always try to eat health food. Bee pollen, sunflower seeds, eggs and potatoes, tomatoes, and I can remember all that. And dealing with situations, I would always try to make sure that my brothers and sisters would be able to understand where I was coming from, being an athlete and always on the go, always being active. And they didn't get a chance to become an athlete or finish school like young people were because we was in poverty. So I was fortunate enough to, people came from Jacksonville, Florida, Edward Waters College.
Oh, my.
To come and recruit me to go down and play football.
Nice.
And being young, I wanted to play ball. I wasn't thinking about academics because academics wasn't in my mind. I just wanted something to say, hey, I can get up and do things.
Yes.
Okay, so get up and do things. I said, okay, I'll go down. So I was in a rude awakening because going down south, Jacksonville, Florida, playing football, at Edward Waters College, I had a chance to run track, throw the shot put in discus, play football on a championship team.
Wow.
And I would block for one of the Steelers back in the 70s, and late 60s and 70s. That was Cannonball Butler, James Cannonball Butler. And he's deceased now. And blocking for him in college, and we played schools like Bethune-Cookman, the whole 100 yards, and running track at North Carolina A&T. I met other pro football players, but they were in college, and they were terrific, throwing the shot put and discus. And I'm saying, where these 6'7", 6'5", 6'4" shot putters come from? Okay, and that was a real good blessing for me to get a good experience.
Okay.
And I always had to work diligently into the hardcore bit. I had to sleep, eat, drink, get in the books, football, athletics.
So let's rewind it, because you talked about early staying out of trouble.
Right.
So it took you toward the world of athletics. In all that, what you said, this whole notion of a work ethic, like the work ethic and the healthy lifestyle, was starting. So where did that come from?
That, honestly, in the classroom, I was an A student. I had to really struggle.
Okay.
I mean, really struggle. So, in being home, trying to study, go to the school library on my spare time. In the Hill District, we had a library. I would go there and do my studying. And I would always try to get involved in weight training. So we didn't have a place to go lift weights, so I made my own weights. I made my own weights out of.
Is that the one you bought when you made it?
No, yeah, I had like a broomstick and cut the one head off, and then I would get the small weights and put them in there, nail them on each side, and tape them up.
Okay.
And I would really pump the weights and do different exercises,
Nice.
and that kept my mind straight to say, hey, I'm gonna get stronger and use my mind and the ethics of trying to make it. I know I had to do not 4 times better. I had to do 400 times better
Okay.
to try to make it, because it was not easy for myself to stick and stay when everybody was partying.
Okay.
I was pumping
Right.
iron.
So
Sure.
you're pumping iron and studying.
And
Where
studying.
did tell me the instilling of studying, especially where you went to school? Not everyone around you was going to hit those books. So how did you stay focused to hit those books during that time?
Well, honestly, I didn't want to come back home. I didn't want to come back. When I went to school, I stayed for 4 years. 1 year I came home. That was my freshman year for the summer. I just stayed in school and doing summer school. And I had the ambition to say, I got to make it.
Okay.
I got to get me a degree.
Okay.
And I said, if I get a job, that means I can make money to support myself.
Right.
And the motivation just comes from not wanting to get in trouble, not wanting to be with the crowd. And you know, when you be a off-stand guy like that, you got all kind of conversations going.
bet.
Right.
The negativeness, or he don't want to party, the 100 yards. And then, you know, time go by, and then after I got my degree from Edward Waters College, I went to Pitt and got a job with the school board and teaching phys ed and health. And found my love in trying to help students out, all kind of students. And dealing with that, I was able to work on my master's degree plus towards my doctor's, but I said I'm gonna let it go so I can coach.
Okay.
So I got involved with coaching. And dealing with coaching, we had a good part of the coaching was trying to mentor the kids. And I would get into the kids and tell them, hey, you got to start eating healthier.
Right.
All this negative food you're eating,
Right.
and going out there drinking all the soda and out there staying out late. I say, the girl's going to be around. You guys try to stay in school, get into the athletic bit, get into the classrooms, get to know your teachers.
Right. Well, you mentioned 2 people, Robert Mungen and George Couples. So you mentioned them because somewhere in there, what effect and impact did they have on you?
Mr. Bob Mungen, he came from Jacksonville, Florida. Okay, he was the type of teacher that would sit down and have time to talk with you no matter who you were.
Okay.
Right.
Have a conversation with you, get to know you. And you get to know him, he's going to say, okay, you can make it, okay, but it's not going to be easy. Mr. George Couples, he would always take me under his wing because he liked the way I hustled, and I would help manage the other ball players by letting them be disciplined, don't start swearing, could be on time, practice, you want to practice hard or else, and things in that nature. And they showed great respect for where I was coming from. the respect bit
Yes.
from a grown man helping a youngster like myself out. That's what stuck with me to make sure that I was going to help somebody else out.
Yes.
And that's what's embedded. We had a black man and a white man and worked together in the building saying you could make it.
Powerful.
And never giving up.
Right. And so you learned it from playing with couples and the other and Mungeon. Then you went on with the coaching staff at the university you played at. Same thing. Did you learn some stuff from that to utilize to get in that bug for coaching when you were there?
Well, dealing down south in the black schools, the athletic programs down there, it was no joke. Because the guys down there were strong, powerful, hot. It was hot weather, and they would play ball. If you was a lineman, if you was a running back, you better be on time, and if you wasn't fast, you better get fast. If you didn't know how to hit and block and tackle, you was going to get hurt. So that motivated me to make sure that I stayed extra powerful in the mind, all between the ears, or something you like to say. In between the ears, using that mind bit and saying, I'm not going to quit, I'm not going to let it go.
Right.
And if something happened to me, I'm going to still try to do something that's positive. Right. And I think that motivation in school really helped me out. And also I can't forget, and I will never forget, how my wife really stepped in.
Nice.
Girlfriend and boyfriend in college, and staying clean cut, go to the movies, go to the different activities on campus. And I couldn't wait to get to the library then, because I know she'd be there studying, and she was all day.
What a motivation!
Yeah, right. So that really helped me out.
So how were you integrating the health and nutrition? So you're at this college and you understood the culture because they made sure you knew it.
Right.
And then you're fit already, but where did you integrate this health and nutrition, physical fitness part of you?
Back then, even in high school,
yes,
I found out that when I would practice, I wanted to get the right nutrition in me.
Okay.
So I started, the sunflower seeds, the peanut butter, the honey. I would drink honey in the morning if I go to school. And before ball game, I have jars of honey in my locker. And now, think about it, I'm 15, 16, 17 on up. And dealing with eggs and potatoes, something with the protein and the carbs and the whole bit. And I really honestly didn't know all the foundation like young kids know today.
Yes.
But I wanted to get stronger.
So did you read up that these foods?
So I would get articles, and I would go to the stores. And then when I got in school, GNC was just starting off down in Jacksonville. And I would go there and just get pamphlets and the whole bit, read about their vitamins, minerals, and things like that. And being in the health, being a phys ed teacher, that helped me out a lot too about the body and dealing with the nutrition bit.
Okay. So when we get back, we're going to more Coach Leroy Dillard, and we're going to go into more about his career and then why coaching, why health and phys ed, and why still today, and continuing that process. Because, when you do what you love, especially if you do it for so long, it's because of the love and really caring for it. And it seems like you're so passionate about what you do. You're watching The Neil Haley Show, and we'll be back in just a moment.
I've shown an interest in making home movies. Me and some buddies would just grab a camera and you just start making these videos, and then you realize at some point that this isn't just a hobby anymore, it's something that you actually want to pursue. And there's this great facility right down the road, BPTV. A lot of people will try to do these productions on their own, and one of the things they don't have is the equipment, but right here is everything she needs in one nice little bundle. There's lights, cameras, reflectors, dollies, all kinds of little knickknacks, like anything that you'd want to use that you would need for a production, you have it right here, like it's all right here. You can make your own feature movie just with the stuff from this studio. Come meet Dave Cable, let him show you around, and I think you'll realize that this is something that you could fall into regardless of your level of expertise, whether you're a beginner or even if you're a more advanced learner. There's something here for everyone, and I feel that you just need to come through and just be a part of the experience and just watch and learn, and let Dave be your guide.
We're back to the Neil Haley Show, and I'm with Coach Karen Hall and Coach Leroy Dillard, and we're learning from Coach specifically the health and phys ed thing. So, after you left college, graduated from college, you headed back to Pittsburgh, got a job at the University of Pittsburgh. Do you feel that you already had your mission in place, that you wanted to educate people about health and phys ed and really get people healthy and all that stuff? Is it started there before coaching, right?
Well,
Pitt.
I would say even in college, I would help the girl track team out. I would always help them out. And a lot of guys didn't have time. Everybody, for example, running track, and I was a shot and disc thrower. But you're talking about guys like Bob Hayes.
Wow.
We would talk, like shake hands. We knew each other very well. Right. And guys like Robbie Robinson, who's a up-to-date bodybuilder, professional. And these guys was on the relay, and these guys was like, into their game.
Right.
Okay? And dealing with phys ed and teaching phys ed and health, I felt that was my niche because it helped me through the lifespan that I dealt when I was young. But what I think my mind caught on to was the kids,
right?
The young kids who was inspired by TV, sports, the Steelers, and the whole bit. And I said, okay, I'm gonna help you get there. You can make it. You can go to college. I know you can. And if you want to play pro football, now these kids like 13, 15,
right.
You can play pro football. I know you can.
Yes.
Right.
And you can make it. So in dealing with that, it was motivation to me to keep my word to them that they're gonna get there.
Yeah.
Right.
And then this right here, the weight.
Okay.
The weight training.
Okay.
Okay, I would install that in their brain cells between their ears.
Yes.
To say you got to work out. When they found out they gonna get that body and that massive, but they had to study the plays, get their books, treat the teachers with respect.
Right.
And then they found themselves that people liked them when they was playing ball.
Right.
Seen their name in the paper.
Right.
Sam Clancy.
No.
I had the honor to coach him when he was a little
really,
kid.
Really?
Wow.
When he was a little kid coming up. And then I had the pleasure and the honor to coach him at Bashir High School football.
Okay. Wow.
And then he went on to Pitt and then the Cleveland Browns.
Right.
And there's other numbers of guys that I could name that, they made it because they were good athletes and good scholars. But I'm saying that I was blessed to be able to give them a helping hand.
So how were you, let me ask you this, you're doing the coaching thing at the high school, and I know about your show. Like Coach was like really into the fitness. So can you talk about your show that you did for men and women? And were you doing that while you were coaching?
Now, I had a program, Mr. Neil, Stay in Shape Women's World.
Okay.
TV program.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the whole bit. And Patrice King, I used to be on her show.
Oh, really?
Okay. And dealing with that, I was still teaching, coaching, taking care of my family, making sure of that. And I had to make a living for my family.
Right.
Okay. I have 2 daughters, went to Central Catholic.
Okay.
And Oakland Catholic.
Oakland Catholic.
Oakland Catholic. And dealing with that, I would try to motivate guys to go to Central Catholic if they want to play ball and get different subjects, not trying to chase them away from the public schools.
Right.
So in dealing with that, the time span was like motivation in myself.
Okay.
Get my rest,
Yes.
eat right, but make sure I do these things.
Okay.
And that's why I try to tell youngsters today that's kind of sluggish. I'm not going to say they're lazy. They need more guidance.
Right. Okay.
To make sure they wake up and have a program so they can do different things.
Right.
And don't count the things they do. Just do them right.
Exactly.
And they can make it through and get some rest.
Right.
Because you can't stay up with the owls all night and fly with the eagles during the day.
No, you can't.
It ain't going to work. And a lot of them done it. And even today, 50 years passed, and I still have guys come by my house and thank me.
Wow.
Wow.
Because they got a family, some of them been in the service, became high officers and so forth, because I would say it's not me. Something I shared with them. Something I shared with them is because they had to motivate themselves.
Right.
But all they had to do is get a little niche in there to say, I can do it.
Right.
I can motivate myself.
Who would you say another athlete, you talked about Sam Clancy that you coached, that went on to greatness? Would you say Sam's the biggest, or are you?
Oh, Sam and there's a number of guys off the tip of my head. Elvin Bethea from when he went to North Carolina, and we would talk a lot. Okay, when we used to throw the shot put and discus, and he was big disc thrower, one of the best in the conference, and we would talk about all kind of motivation things that he could make it. He became all pro a number of years. And then, if not mistaken, his son played pro. And dealing with that, and Pittsburgh has so many athletes come out of Pittsburgh.
Right.
All kind of athletes, all nationalities. And they would come to the gym and I would work them out. I was taught at Bashir, coached at Bashir, Westinghouse, and I had a gym, and they would come to my gym to work out. And they will play against the guys. Some of the guys were different at different high schools, but I still work them out. And that way, it was a niche for them to say, hey, here's a coach that I'm going to play against, but he's still working me out. And then on the field, I'd be telling my guys to rough them up, stop them, don't let them get no kind of yardage, the whole 100 yards, you know.
Well, in the culture that we live in today, it's so fitness-driven now, so health conscious. So have you seen the pendulum swing from here to where we are today in terms of everyone wants to, you see everybody running on the outside. You see the health clubs are full today. What's your thought of the culture that we live in today regarding the whole fitness craze?
Well, it's a big blessing to see people working out, number one. I have to give all that credit.
Yes.
And sometimes it's good to see trainers, how they coming around. And we all know that health food, training, and what the trainers have to go through today, I think it's pretty much on the ball because they have to be certified.
Yes.
Being certified is like a thing where the person they're going to train is going to be kept pretty much on the ball.
Right.
Okay? Sometimes we have to watch that sometimes it's a money thing. Somebody want to train somebody because they want to make a few bucks.
Yes.
But don't train somebody to make, and just tell them to go through a process and they're not going to get it for 10 years.
You need to have
from
that
now.
coaching and teaching ability to train people.
Yeah, you got to feel it and you got to know it and be honest. You got to be honest to a person and say, don't do this one. Leave the machine alone. Your body is not ready for that.
Right.
Don't just say, you can do it. Get done and go ahead.
Okay.
You got to check their body out because if you notice that a lot of people get hurt on spinning, on jogging, on a treadmill, and lifting weights. A lot of people get hurt, but they won't tell you. They will not tell you they're hurt because they're embarrassed and they want to be the top dog.
So you think also that might be because the trainer is pushing them. So if they say that they're hurt, well, now he or she's going to think that I don't want to work hard and then I might lose this person.
You're saying a lot there. You're saying a lot because
a lot of them
you're
just want you
into
to
it.
sign up and then quit, and then they made the money and they were paying for X amount of months.
Now that's the part where I'm saying that I like myself, I like to get my dues, okay?
Right.
Yes.
But I'm an honest, old-fashioned guy. I'm going to make sure that person's going to work. I'm going to make sure they do well. If they can't take the pressure, I'll let them know, maybe get another trainer.
Okay. So, but that's the honesty in you as a trainer. So do you have like a consulting, or I should say a conversation before you go into this partnership?
Not just at the beginning, straight through.
Okay.
Even after the session, I spend it. Sometimes, you don't want a trainer that's going to just ship you out. I'll work you out, Neil, and then you get a good workout. I say, okay, Neil, I'll see you later. Okay, I'll see you, let me look at my tab. I'll see you next Wednesday, okay? And then look at you and say, okay, I'll see you tomorrow, bye.
Okay.
How's your health food today, last night?
Right.
Hey, you went on a trip now. Did you eat much? Did you work out?
Right.
Did they have a workout gym?
So are you doing some personal training with teaching as well?
Oh, yeah. Well, right now, I taught for the board 40 years, Board of Education for 40 years, and then I went to another program with students from the Board of Education for 4 years.
Okay.
And dealing with that, Mr. Neal, it's like I do personal training now. And I still help youngsters out, going to school, check on them while they're in college, and at the YMCA in the Hill District, the new YMCA.
Okay.
I do it because I like to pay back. The way I came up in the Hill or anywhere else, I like to help people out.
So you retired from board?
I retired from the board and the other program that I was in.
And but you still want to work with kids, and you still want to do that stuff.
Because kids, Mr. Neal, these kids today, if you find somebody in my category, been working with them like 50 years, okay? Someone else could be a science teacher, math teacher, English teacher.
Yes.
They know these kids up to date.
Absolutely.
When you find out that you can't go in and try to guide or help, you know, maybe you don't have the time, but that's what they need. They need some old school understanding.
There's opportunity. There's opportunities. You got to be able to show it. Look at the Pittsburgh Promise and the Pittsburgh.
There's so much out here for these kids.
But if they don't think they have that opportunity, they think they only have certain things, and then you show them what you've done in your life and say, hey, this is what I do, and this is how I feel, and this is what I'm doing. You are that role model, and then you pay attention and spend time with them. You've been an athlete. You're still an athlete. And the way you came up, you didn't have nothing like these kids have today.
Absolutely not.
And the skills that you have, and the whole bit, you had to still hustle. These kids, you know, some of them, up to date, no matter where they are, where they come from, they want that uniform on. They go out and hit a three-pointer, the game's over. Their game is over.
That's the highlight. That's it.
That's the highlight. That's the highlight. They get 20 yards, then they almost get a touchdown, and then the fullback get the touchdown for them. They get upset.
Yeah.
Their job is to get the ball downfield.
It seems like you have that great mission for sure, Coach, and that's fantastic. And I'll be rooting for you of what you're trying to do. So the new Homewood YMCA, you're doing some stuff there.
The Hill District.
Hill District.
Thelma Lovett.
Hill District's YMCA.
Right.
I don't know where I got Homewood. Maybe you.
No, they got the Y out there too. And Homewood, that's where Westinghouse High School.
Yeah.
A lot of our kids worked at the YMCA out there.
Okay, so you're at the Hill
District.
Hill District one. And seeing the opportunity to shape young minds and help people and things like that.
And also, Mr. Neal, older senior citizens, you'll find more. Wow. It's so beautiful to see the older senior citizens working out. I love it.
Wow.
They get in there and they doing the arm wheel and they doing the leg pedal. And I always try to encourage them. And sometimes soon they see me, they come and ask me a question.
Great.
I'll go right to them.
So you're devoting it, so your life to health and fitness. You bring the weight here to show us and say that you went the old school way when you lifted weights. Now the weights are completely different.
Yes.
And still working out today and trying to help others. So I appreciate you coming by for
My
sure.
pleasure.
Coach. All right.
Coach, wonderful to have you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. All right, guys, that was the Neal Haley Show. Take care, and we'll talk next week.